Hello, I'm Eric Porter. This is Homeland 1 on plant structure. A horticultural plant is a higher value plant that is valued and cultivated in smaller acreage crops. Horticultural plants are fruits, vegetables, ornamentals, flowers that demand more care, including fertilizers, aftercare, harvest, pest control, pest management, hand labor, and refrigeration. This is difficult. This is different than an agronomic plant like wheat that is grown for acres. It's harvested mechanically and stored dry by the ton. Look at the pic. This is my granddaughter. She's 4 years old, and I believe this is going to be the family horticulturist. I need help. She's learning plant structure too. Plants are identified by and classified according to their structure. Understand the purposes of these structures helps us grow them successfully. Plant structures determine soil preference, water and light requirements, propagation strategies, nutrients required, harvest, and how well it fits into the green industry. If it doesn't fit well into the green industry, it doesn't stand a chance. The objective of this lab is to examine 4 different horticultural plants by identifying and describing the plants and their structures, features, and purposes. To do this, I went into my yard and chose 4 plants I want to learn more about. I made observations, took photographs, took samples of them all. Then I gathered sources so I could research them and understand the structures I was observing. 4 leaves. It started off with just a pile of leaves. Understanding these structures I was observing made a difference. The parasol Aeonium arboreum, the 4 I chose. Dwarf Gardenia, Gardenia Jasminoides. Number 3, peace lily, Spathiphyllum. The 4th is the Meyer lemon, Citrus Xmeyeri. The parasol Aeonium is a succulent located in my front yard, known for its ornamental qualities. This plant is native to the Canary Islands and has specific adaptations. It can take low water, it can take just about any kind of soil, and it has a tolerance for sea salt. But on the islands, got to take some sea spray. This plant propagates easily. That's one of its saving graces. It can regenerate itself anywhere. The parasol Aeonium has a unique complex flower called inflorescence. It grows on a stem called a peduncle. There are smaller stems attached to the peduncle. These are called rachees. These attach themselves to the pedicel, which holds the individual flowers. Now, which are known, they have a special name, florets. Now, the flowers grow in an indeterminate pendant raceme. So it's like a spray, but this thing is fragrant. It's going to attract some bees. It contains many small yellow florets, and frutescence is the entire fruiting body of the plant. The fruit on this species is insignificant. The flowers, powerful, be attractive, it will spread, the bees will get the pollen anywhere. Parasol Aeonium has fleshy, lobed, oblong-shaped leaves that grow in a rosette pattern. The leaves wrap around the stem, and leaves attach to the stem by wrapping around it. When the leaf is removed, it leaves a line on the stem. The stem is hard and smooth, and other than these lines, the leaves store water, and this is why they are so drought tolerant. There are no visible veins. The cut portion of this leaf shows the xylem and phloem, right here, present. The leaves have a coat. They're coated top and bottom with a wax-like substance. This further reduces transpiration. Keep the water. Note how the xylem and phloem are centered to further reduce transpiration. Most plants have a flatter leaf where they're going to transpire more. The peace lily is a potted plant on my porch, and it's not actually a lily, it's a tropical perennial. It's very popular to cultivate because of its beautiful flowers, and it's hard to kill, and it has a very low tolerance to light. It will bloom in low light. It's native to the Americas and Southeast Asia, so it prefers a little warmth. The peace lily flowers all year long. It grows a horizontal stem underground called a rhizome. The peduncle grows from the rhizome. It holds a flower, which consists of the spathe and an inner white flower cluster. The inner white flower cluster is called a spadix. The spathe is a modified leaf or you can call it a bract that surrounds the true flower. The spadis is a type of spike inflorescence containing many minute flowers. Very pretty flower, and it's a great plant for a beginner. Hello. It will produce a fleshy berry fruit. This plant contains oxalates which can irritate and burn if touched. Keep this away from the babies. Don't let them put it in the mouth. The leaves grow from the rhizome. They are evergreen and alternate simple leaves. Narrow to broad elliptical, the shape. They're 5 to 8 inches long. They have elongated petioles. The stem is very long, looks like it comes straight off the ground. The blades are pressed with they have a pinnate venation all the way up. Entire undulate margins, okay? Now, it has elongated acuminate tip, right here, and acuminate to acute base. That's the curve under the bottom. The dwarf gardenia is a cultivar gardenia. It's a bright, fragrant blossom that I grow in my yard, front and back. I love the scent, but so do bees. The dwarf cultivar doesn't grow into a large shrub as other gardenia shrubs, plants. It tends to grow on the ground, low, horizontal, great ground cover. In all of my 52 years, and I've been in the gardening, basic gardening for a long time, I've never seen a gardenia fruit till University of Wyoming Horticulture. Thank you, Dr. Planter. The gardenia fruit, not very showy. The fruit is rarely seen in its small, fleshy, ovate berry. The small ovate leaves are arranged in a whorl pattern in groups of 3. It is a simple leaf. The margin is entire. The pinnate venation pattern, as you see. Deep dark green color clearly shows it can create chlorophyll and sugars to produce numerous flowers. It's a prodigious flower producer. It smells great. The Meyer lemon tree is a woody, broadleaf, evergreen tree that grows between 6 to 10 feet tall. Great to have around residential houses. It spreads only 4 to 8 feet. It originated in China where it's grown as a potted plant. It has been selectively bred and highly crossed with mandarin lime. It produces a fragrant floral set twice a year here in Southern California. Smells fantastic. The lemon flowers are larger and shorter than those of an orange tree. The tree also has thorns. The flowers are white with prominent yellow pistils and stamens. The flowers grow in clusters. They're called cimos corium. The Meyer lemon tree is an excellent producer. The more mature the tree, the more lemons it produces. The Meyer lemon is less acidic, juicier, and sweeter. Now, it's juicier and sweeter than most common lemons. That's why it makes it really an attractive plant to have around a house. The fruits are about 3 inches in diameter and they're round with a smooth, thin skin. It lacks the rough texture of pronounced lip and the pronounced nipple of a true lemon. The true lemon is elliptical. The Meyer lemon is not used commercially because they ship poorly due to the thin skin, like some of the people I know. The fruit is a rich source of vitamin C, and the fruit is a hesperidium. It's a specialized berry with a leathery rind called a pericarp. The outermost layer of the fruit is called an exocarp. It's also called the zest, great for when you're cooking. The middle layer is called a mesocarp, which is the spongy layer. Excuse me. The middle layer is the mesocarp. The middle and the spongy layer is called the albedo. Let me get that correct. The inside is called the endocarp. The segments are called leaves. Inside the leaves is a locule filled with juice, vesicles, or pulp. We just call it pulp, but we actually learned the right proper name, juice vesicles. Hair-like strings extending to the locules from the endocarp, they provide the nourishment as the fruit grows. That's how it swells up. This is a palm fruit. It's highly crossbred with so many fruit trees in close proximity, we actually get sweeter lemons in the winter with this tree. It's next to an orange tree flowering at the same time. Sweet lemons, imagine that. The visibly pointed vein, the leaf is visibly veined with a pointed apex. It's slightly toothed margin, that's the edge. The base attached to the petiole is a very small bud. They grow in an alternate leaf pattern. Knowing plant structures is my sole hope in understanding classification and identifying plants. When I first started this assignment, I was familiar with a few plant species. I can be real honest. Yeah. Maple leaf, sycamore leaf, okay, we all know that. only recognizing, but now I can identify all the plants in my yard by leaf venation, flowers, peduncles, and rakees. To identify the Gardenia, I reference my sources. I observe the dark green leaves, heavily veined, very shiny, arranged in a whorl pattern in groups of 3. They had a smooth margin on the edge. Besides this, the white flowers have a very distinct shape and smell that match my sources. This allowed me to positively identify the Gardenia. After further research, I found the Gardenia fruit. I identified the peace lily by observing the unusual flower. The plant has a spadix, abrupt, together form the flower. I also observed the petioles and peduncles that seemed to sprout directly from the ground. This indicated an underground stem, the rhizome. Another unique identifying characteristic of this plant. I compared these with my sources. The descriptions matched. Lo and behold, I was on to something. There was enough to identify, although I learned because the peace lilies are hybrids, the exact species is really hard to identify. So as I got real close, I just had to settle on this general area, Spathiphyllum. I remember that name now. Had to work a little bit to really get that one identified. The parasol aeonium is easily identified as a succulent. I use these sources for identification. Tight rosette pattern of the leaves will let me to identify it. Further examination of the stem and how the leaves attach, as well as the presence of aerial roots, provide additional evidence for identification. Very popular in Southern California. I knew I had a lemon tree. What I did not know was the type. Through research of the leaves and flowers and a trip to the nursery, I learned that I have a Meyer lemon tree. The tree is shorter than a true lemon tree. The fruit is structured differently. It lacks the pronounced nipple, the rough skin, the elliptical shape. It allowed me to positively identify it. It took applying plant structure and knowledge gained during this exercise to discover what kind of lemon tree I own. I have learned that ignorance of plant structures can be very expensive. You will replace over and over till you get it right. And it destroys the horticultural experience. Not understanding how plant structures and horticultural world affects everything from identification, soil, water demands, propagation, light requirements. All will prevent you from growing plants optimally. Knowing structure allows a proper plant to be planted where optimal results can result with minimum human involvement. With minimum human involvement. That's big. The objective of this lab was met and exceeding by following the spirit of the exercise. I've done extensive research, cited all references. All steps of this lab can be recreated by following the same steps and methods, and will produce the same results. All questions are answered fully. As I explained the structures I observed in the plants, I gained a deeper understanding of how plant structure is used in identifying plants, and how this understanding and function of these structures allow us to cultivate these plants successfully. In conclusion, using observations of plant structures, one can identify and classify any plant in the world. My name is Eric Porter, Home Lab 1, Plant Structures. Blessings.